Hello, goddesses. Welcome back to the Champagne Empress show. I'm Georgette, your host, and I help women embody the life they desire through self love, romance, and luxury. The ultimate goal of this podcast is to live a life fully expressed on your own terms. That being said, today's topic is going to really walk you through what it means to live a life fully expressed. And I know I say it a lot on this podcast, and I say it a lot in my private coaching and my mastermind. We are here to live a life of a fullest expression. And this is the ultimate goal for my women in business and life and love. We want to be the fullest version of who we are. And what does it really mean to live a life fully expressed? Because we live in a world where everywhere we look, we worry about what people think. We worry about, oh, what if they talk about me? The societal pressure, especially as women. Oh, you should be married by now. Oh, you should have two kids by now. No, you shouldn't get divorced. You shouldn't do this. You should. We have so much pressure from our family, from our friends, from the media, that we barely look into ourselves to really understand who we are as human, who we are as goddesses, walking on this earth. And when I mean we are here to walk this path of living here, bringing heaven on earth, it is because we're here to live a life fully expressed, with no reservation, with no hesitation. So when I look at my life, because I have vowed to live a life of my fullest expression, it is not something that is easy, but people get to see the totality of who I am. Everything that I do, everything that I say, everything that I wear. I get to express myself in my relationships, in my business, and everything that has to do with life. In order for me to be the totality of who I am, I had to embrace both sides of who I am, the masculine and the feminine. I get to reconcile these two. I get to have this amazing marriage between the two, because only then I could understand that I am both, that I am able to be vulnerable and I'm able to be strong. But how do we even know what is ours and what is not? Because we're still conditioned to want things because other people have it. We're still conditioned to do things not based on our true desire, but based on what it is we're supposed to be doing because our parents did it. So it is your job to do the same. And if I ask you today, if tomorrow is your last day, would you say you have lived a full life, pursuing everything you've wanted to do, shouting over the roof with all the love that you have in your heart, speaking your truth, telling the person you love that you love them, pursuing this business venture you've always imagined? Would you say you have done that? And here's the thing. We don't pursue things just because of pursuing them, right? We have a million ideas a day. I know I do. I don't pursue all the ideas. A life fully expressed for me means I am in tune with who I am. My intuition guides me. The most divine has a powerful force over my life. And I get to be connected to that divine. I get to be connected into my body. And I get to let that guide me into every step that I take. So when I say no, it is because truly it is a no. And when I say yes, it's because I am saying yes. It's the most divine. And believe me, not all the path, I know where they're going to lead me. Absolutely not. But I follow my intuition. I follow the divine answer until I get to where I'm leaving. Because every time I do, I am led to a circumstance where I'm able to learn about who I am, where I'm able to have the best, amazing time, where I'm able to purge, where I'm able to crash to the point that I am renewed, the rebirth of my soul. I get to pursue experiences that are leading me to my fullest expression. I get to wear clothes not because it looks great, but because my soul is saying yes to it. Because it is at the moment what is needed of me. Living a life of fullest expression also means you could change your mind. Just because you say, well, I'm enjoying playing tennis today, does not mean you cannot change your mind tomorrow. You get to every single day stay true to who you are, to the core of who you are. You get to stand your ground. You get to advocate for it. But you also get to evolve into the best version of you. And if the best version of you is asking you, you know what? Playing tennis was a stepping stone into your fullest expression. Now I want to move you into horseback riding. Then that's where we'll go. We are going to allow ourselves to experience that. We are going to allow ourselves to evolve into the fullest express version of us. So when I live my life fully expressed, I wake up with joy, fulfilled with everything I do, passionate about what I say, about what I do, passionate about loving even more. Oh, don't get me wrong. Heartbreaks happen. But guess what? I still get to keep my heart wide open, love even deeper, love even stronger. I've experienced the greatest heartbreak of my life. And also knowing that I'm grateful for the moment I spent loving that person, loving that soul. I get to experience it all. I get to have it all. I get to experience the pain. I get to experience the joy. I get to experience what it means to fall in love. And I get to experience what it means to have my heart shattered into pieces. But yet, my heart gets to remain open, open to receiving the lesson, open to receiving the new love, open to receiving the healing, fully open. Because with a closed heart, I cannot leave the fullest expression of who I am. Because I am closing a part of me that needs to be wide awake. I am closing a part of me that needs to be expressed even fully, to experience life to the fullest. How can you express life to the fullest if you have your heart closed? So yes, having a heart wide open means you're going to experience it. Oh, yes, you are. But this is what we are here to do. We are here to understand how to navigate those feelings. We are not letting feelings dictate how we live our life, but we get to feel the feeling and understand this is only temporary. It is not mine forever. And we get to move on to the next. and we get to experience it all. Oh my gosh, right now I'm experiencing the joy of being able to talk to you right now. And it's fantastic. So then the next question usually comes into, okay, why do I even want to live a life fully expressed? I mean, I'm a little biased here, but why not, honey? Why not live the best life you've ever lived? Why not live a life that you've experienced living every single moment? We don't go through life. I mean, some people do, but we do not want to go through life on autopilot. We want to be able to be present in this moment and really listening to the words that are coming. Really experience touching your fingers. Ooh, I am here. Touching my face. Oh my God, I am human. We want to experience what it is to be human. So why is it that you want to live on autopilot? We only have one life to live. We say it all the time. But living a life of your fullest expression is truly a way you get to show that there is one life to live. So when we show up in our fullest expression, we know, oh my gosh, I am afraid, but I'm going to do it anyways because I am guided intuitively to do this step. Oh my gosh, I don't want to open my heart because I'm afraid to fail. I'm afraid to get hurt, but I'm going to do it anyways because this is the path I'm supposed to be going down to. Every single time I've listened to my inner voice, to my intuition, even though the outcomes were not what my human expected it to be, there was something in it. There was something that cracked me even more open. And I got the exact thing that I needed in that moment. And then I get to experience life and I get to leave a path of this is my expression. So then I don't look back and say, oh, I wish I did this. I wish I said that. I get to show up and I get to speak my truth. I get to show up and I get to be creative in what I deem to be creative. Not what the world think I should do. Oh, you should be painting instead. No, I get to do what I want to do, what I seem to be creative. If that's putting puzzles together, that's what I'll do. Because we're so quick to judge what other people do. Oh, that's weird. This art is weird. Oh my gosh. I don't get it. Just because you don't understand something doesn't mean it's not meant to be. Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean it's not creative. Because your eyes get to see a different perspective as someone else's. When we judge the way someone lived their life, we are judging the way we live our life. The moment I'm judging someone for living their best life, I'm like, I wouldn't live like that. I am judging my life. Where in my life am I not fulfilled? Where in my life am I a little jealous of that, the way they live their life? So am I living my life fully expressed? Because if I am, I shouldn't put judgment on anybody else. Oh yeah, the human is hard for us to not cast judgment. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, my life is so fully expressed every single day that I judge no one. Let me tell you, sometimes I see someone wearing some kind of shoes and I'm like, girl. But I quickly catch myself because I'm aware of who I am. I'm aware of the human in me because that's what it is to live a human experience. I'm aware of my human and I snap out of it. I'm like, no, why the shoes? Am I jealous of the shoes? Is it too colorful? Do I wish I had more color into my life? What is it about the shoes that I am judging? That's what it means to live a life fully expressed, to truly be immersed into your own life, into your own path, into your own guidance, allowing your intuition to guide you, allowing your intuition to answer the questions you have been asking for, and following through. It may not make sense today, it may not make sense tomorrow, but trusting that you're on the right path, doing the things that fully align with your soul, helping the cause that aligns with you. Because everybody's going to have a different opinion of who you are. Let me love you for who you are and not for what you think I should love you for. Let me love you with all your complexity. Let me love you for your human. And let me love your soul for beyond I can see where it's going. Let me love every expression of who you are. I get to show up in my business with a full face of makeup or with no makeup at all. Some would say, oh my gosh, that is not professional. And you know what I would say? F all. Because I get to be the fullest version of me. I don't wake up every single day with lingerie. I don't wake up every single day with joy. Do I find the joy? Yes, I do. Some days I'm messy. Some days I am really well put together. And I get to be proud of both. I get to unite my masculine and my feminine. I get to have the marriage between the two. Because I'm here to live a life of fullest expression. And I have to love the part of me that some people don't. I have to embrace who I am fully in order for me to do that. With no judgment, with no doubts, and truly trust who I am as a person. So now, a lot of people say, then how do I become this? How do I become this person who live a life of fullest expression? I'm going to give you a little bit of practical steps so you could start living a life of your fullest expression. Number one, guys, awareness. You have to be aware of what you like, who you are, yourself. I'm very aware of my body. I am very aware of the person I am. I'm aware when I'm petty. I'm aware when I'm being an ass. I'm aware when I'm being a people pleaser. I am aware of when I'm being super sweet. I'm aware when I'm being everything that I am. I'm aware. Why? Because I took time with myself to understand me. I took time with myself to know how I react when there is a certain problem thrown at me. And I got to be aware of how I respond. I got to be aware of who I was. Because then I'm able to know, how do I want to respond? Because I'm aware of my thoughts, my feelings. I'm aware of other people's feelings. I'm aware of it all. So I get to choose how I proceed. But that requires awareness. And sometimes when we go into awareness, we're not going to love every single part of us. We're going to say, oh my gosh, am I really this petty? I accept that part. I recognize it. I don't let the pettiness drive my life. I get to love that side of me. Literally the other day, I was so petty. I laughed at myself. And my mastermind, we talk about how petty I can be. We talk about the things. And that is a permission to be the fullest version of who you are. It's to not have to hide this side of you. It's to not get to say, oh my gosh, if I'm this petty, they're going to think that no one is going to think anything about you. No one has time to think that about you. everyone wants to think about themselves. If we think that about you for a second, believe me, we'll move on. It's not a big deal. So it's the next thing we do with the awareness of being petty. Am I going to act on that pettiness? Possibly not. Do I crack myself up about it? Yes, I do. And I love that about myself. It's the action you take after you're aware that matters. So the next thing I like to get to is really getting to know yourself intimately, getting to know deeply. Connect to your intuition and let it guide you. Understanding, oh, this voice is my intuition. Oh, and this voice is my fear. Recognize the two. That means spending more time with yourself intimately. Going to the movies, doing the things you want to do by yourself. It's like, oh, I like the idea of having 25 kids. Ugh, let me feel it in my body. Is this truly my truth? No, I do not want 25 kids. Oh, I like the idea of being this wife that stays at home and cooks all day. And it is the truth for some people. But then you have to go a little bit deeper. Is it my truth? Do I like the idea of it? Or is it my truth? Because we like the idea of a lot of things. We like the idea of having a business. We like the idea of being a wife. We like the idea of having multiple kids. We like the idea of living in the city. But when we really go deep inside ourselves, do we actually like these things? Do I even want to be a wife? Personally, I do. I'm wifey material. But seriously, is that your truth? So then you get to know yourself intimately. You get to go around and truly understand who you are at your core, your values. What do you stand for? I have my core values, and actually, I do not waver from those. My core values have priorities in the season of my life, but my core values do not change. They're very solid. Like there was a time family was my top core value. And then at some point it changed. It changed to be freedom. But yet it all goes hand in hand with each other. Then another core value that became a priority at some point was health. I was really into health. I'm still into health because I live this lifestyle. I live a healthy life. Don't get me wrong, I eat junk food. And that's another thing that when you're living your life fully expressed, you don't go and say, well, I'm going to not eat ice cream because I'm on a diet. No, honey, you get to really indulge in your ice cream and know that, okay, I'm only eating 2 scoops of ice cream because, oh my gosh, it's so delicious. We're not eating 3 because, oh my God, it's so good. I can't stop because that's showing there's no self-control here, no discipline. Okay. So anyways, it's truly getting to know your core values and standing by that. Who are you? What do you like? What do you do? The things you do, is it because of you or because of someone else? The dream life you want, is it truly your dream life or is it somebody else? Or is it because I'm supposed to have a white picket fence house? Is it your truth? So the third thing is again, speaking your truth. Sometimes we go in relationships and we're like, yes, honey, I want that too. When in reality, that is not what you want. So the other day, for example, I went on a date with this guy and he told me, um, well, we were walking the streets and we held hands and whatever. And at some point he said to me, oh, I don't really like all this PDA, stuff like that. And I said, oh, okay, I understand. There's nothing wrong with that at all. There's nothing wrong with him. And there's nothing wrong with me, except that in my truth, I'm able to express myself with so much care, so much love that I don't want to limit myself into, oh my gosh, I'm in the street. I can't hold your hand. However, I'm not going to go to my kid's school and sit on the desk and make out for hours. You know, you also have to be able to understand your environment. That's what makes a well rounded woman, is knowing where is the right place to do certain things and when is the right timing as well. Okay. So then I said to him, I had an amazing time. You're a wonderful person, which he was. Love the conversations, love the easiness of flow that we were having. However, I speak my truth and I stand in my truth. I'm not going to be someone that I'm not. Because right now, I feel limited in the sense of what I can do. I am limited of being my fullest expression. I am limited and being me. And I do not waver in that. So speak your truth. If someone tell you, I want you to help me cook this meal and you don't want to, speak your truth, girl. No, I do not want to. And that's the end of that. And of course, there's so many other ways you can be fully expressed through creativity. Creativity, cooking, creativity, and what you get to wear and your personal style. What is your personal style? I have my own personal style. Not to say it doesn't change, but I have my core personal style. Find your personal style. What flatters your body? And also, another way, number four, I would say, is to commit to your wants and desires. Commit to it. We don't commit to ideas. We don't commit to, oh, I think I want. We commit to the things that we desire. We commit to the passion. Ooh, I'm passionate about helping women live a fullest expression of their life through business, love, romance, and luxury. That is my passion. That is my desire. So when I wake up and I don't want to do some things, I am reminded I am passionate about showing up and giving permission to my goddesses into living a life of fullest expression. So do that. Commit to your desires and your passion. Because when you do, you get to explore even more about who you are. You get to live a life full of experiences, full of joy, full of hurt, full of failures, full of lessons, full of all of it. Because none of it is bad. The joy is not a good thing. The failure is not a bad thing. We put good and bad to certain things when all of it is experience we're here to experience, period. So I say to you, leap and let yourself be seen. Let yourself live. Again, if it was the last seconds of your life, would you say you have truly lived? Or would you say you have existed? My goddesses, I want you to live a life that is truly yours. Not your sister's, not your mom, not your grandma. A life that is yours, a life you're proud of, a life that you're muse of, a life when you look at, you're like, I had no idea I would be here, but I followed my bliss. I followed my intuition. I followed my joy. I said yes to the things people said I shouldn't say yes to. I say yes to my joy. I say yes to my passion. And I committed because I am committed to living a life fully expressed. When I went on this date, I decided I wanted to wear that dress. Ooh, did that dress turn head? Because I trusted myself to know what felt good in my body. Not because I wanted to look good for someone else. I wanted to express myself in a way that felt good. And that was through clothing, The same thing about shoes. It's never about anybody else but you. It is never about who I need to impress, who I need to show off to. When I show up in my confidence, when I show up in my sexiness, it is not because of anybody else. It is not because of the internet. It is not because of men. It is because I feel it. It's because I get to fully express that part of me and every sense of me. And I show up in my confidence and I show up in my sexiness, knowing that I'm full. Every bone of my body is screaming and I'm satisfying it. So, goddesses, I can't wait to see you live a life of fullest expression. Every week, I'm going to come back and give you a little bit of what it means. Because through this journey, we heal, we love, we express, we get to romanticize our life, we get to live through luxury. But ultimately, what are you doing to live a life fully expressed? What do you want? What do you desire? What is truly yours? What is your truth? I'm leaving you with that. Go ahead and think about it, process it, ponder it, and wake up and say, F it. I am here. I'm committing to living a life fully expressed on my own terms and leap. Thank you again for joining me today. Have a great afternoon. Goodbye.